Bonjour and welcome to Rauta's Reviews. This time we go to France with a rather revealing title, Friends Underground Wormfood. Now, if this isn't some kind of irony, I don't know what it is, but it comes with a glossy digipack, very basic standard release, no booklet whatsoever, just a CD with a minimal amount of information here, meaning no lyrics whatsoever and all that stuff. And can you really guess what the genre is based on the cover? Because I really couldn't figure it out. I was thinking, this must be some rock and roll, could be something else. But obviously I knew a little bit what to expect, but didn't know exactly, and that's the charm here. This one is black metal. Yeah, you really can't tell by the cover, but sometimes things really surprise you. What is interesting that it isn't still even listed here on Metal Archive site when I'm doing this review on the very last day of April 2025. But 2 albums out prior to this one, a couple of EPs, and featuring Matthias Nagy from Ex Irgal, which is a black metal band that I guess a few people know, more than a few people obviously, but goes beside the point. So since this is one not listed here on Metal Archive site, cannot really link and on the background, so we'll go with that. So the band has been here a few years now and has evolved into something which I could, I guess, call black and roll. But it's more than that. There are parts where it really gets punky, and I think it's really refreshing. Then there are parts which are more like traditional second wave black metal, so pretty straightforward, aggressive, even fast tempo and all that stuff. And as I was listening to it, I really figured out this is actually pretty good of an album. But I was also trying to figure out what is the band that this reminds me of. Now, I happen to know how my mind often works. If I've been thinking of some album, it goes with some recent stuff I've been listening to. And it might not be the most accurate ones I'm going to compare it to. But that being said, as a disclaimer, I'm going to say it. Yes, this reminds me a little bit of Carpathian Forest, which I've been listening to recently for a discography run. I wouldn't say they are exactly cut from the same tree, but there are similarities. First of all, both they are a little bit flirting with the combination of rock and roll combined with, black metal. So while some stuff is very straightforward, there's this black and roll kind of element coming into play. Well, obviously Carpathian Forest is way more, especially if you think the older albums, more into Celtic first leaning stuff, whereas Havor, not so much. This is definitely more punky. But there are a handful of bands which do this black and roll without sounding like pretentious, meaning you can actually put these ideas together and it all makes click. Just, like Lego bricks. Click! Weird parts fit in and then you essentially like it. The production is good, very fitting for this kind of music, and the energy is almost tangible. And of course then there are these vocals which are quite good. Not the best in the game, but they are good, solid and all that stuff. So I'm thinking, yeah, this results putting this album on the positive side of things. There are lots of things which go nicely. And one of the bonus aspects, I guess, is worth mentioning. This is hardly past 30 minutes mark, or something like 33 minutes, which kind of guarantees you're not going to get, bored with it because it's overextending its stay. Very important thing in this kind of music when we're not exactly making the kind of a killer songs. This is not about, In the Shadow of the Horns and all that stuff. So while not the most memorable albums, this kind of energy proves that these guys are doing something right. And my gut feeling tells me this is probably even better as a live band. But who knows? I haven't previously, I have no recollection if I have previously even heard of the band. Doesn't, at least, give me any ideas in my head. So I don't know. But yeah, definitely worth checking out. Interesting release nonetheless. And who knows if this will become something else. Here it just says Matthias Nagy is doing everything, but there is more information about this whole band, so who knows? Especially even on the cover it says Havor presents Matthias Nagy, Clemeny, Blanderum's Friends, Underground Wormfood. So I don't know where this is going and why it's not even listed there yet, but something will, I guess, happen. Interesting release nonetheless, and check out the links provided in the description box if you think this is your cup of tea. Now, off you go, and remember to enjoy it.